You don't overreact, right? Only to specific things. The same person, a tone, a sentence that triggered you, and suddenly your reaction is bigger than the actual moment. And that's not random. That's a map. And if there's a map, you can learn to read it before it controls you. In this video, we look at your map. What a trigger actually is. Most people think a trigger is an overreaction. It isn't. A trigger is a specific meaning your nervous system learned to attach to a specific input. Your nervous system is translating the present through an older room. A familiar moment happens. Your body reads it and decides what it means before the mind has a chance. And the meaning it assigns is almost always borrowed from a room you were in before, from a person you learned to read, from a moment the nervous system decided that it was dangerous. Triggers are rarely about what happened. They are about what it touches inside you. The event is current. The reaction is historical. Think about what actually fires your system. What the event means to the nervous system. Criticism, being ignored, rejection, disrespect, disappointment, being controlled, uncertainty. These are very familiar situations. The nervous system hears, you are not enough, you don't matter, you are not safe alone, you are powerless. Hope is dangerous. I am trapped. Chaos is coming. The event is never the whole story. The meaning underneath it is. And the strongest triggers are almost always live in the closest relationships. Because those are the rooms where your nervous system first learned that connections have a cost. Siblings, parents, partners, children, the people who knew you before you knew yourself. Here is how it runs. It starts with the trigger. A specific input arrives, and the body fires feelings and the nervous system assigns a meaning. Then an old pattern pushes a protective response fire. The result is a behavior that follows. Criticism fires shame, and it pushes you into an attack or collapse mode. Distance fires fear and pushes control or chase. Dismissal feeds anger. The pattern introduces force or withdrawal. Silence mostly brings sadness, leading to numbness or disappearance. And sometimes the unconscious does not feel safe. Even closeness can bring in bracing and pulling away. The pattern is not random. The emotion, the triggers are not random. They are a chain, and chains can be named. I mapped out 3 of my recent biggest triggers. They live in my family. They always have. My little sister, for example. We have a love-hate relationship. She's 1.5 years younger than me. And growing up, we were cats and dogs, fighting, biting, running with knives after each other. Mainly her after me. We had completely different energies, same house, but different survival strategies. And we are still, to this day, in each other's top three triggers. When she's not listening, when she's not open, my whole system fires. When she's overconfident without the evidence to back it up, my jaw tightens. And when she tells everyone she's doing great, and some of her closest relationships are quietly falling apart, something in me reacts harder than it should. And here it is what I had to learn to see. Those reactions are mirrors. Not always accurate mirrors, but revealing ones. Revealing the things that fire me hardest in her. Are the things I haven't finished looking at in myself. The trigger is pointing at an unfinished material, unexplored territory on my map. Not listening, I know that one. Being overconfident without proof, I know that one too. And performing fine when something underneath isn't. I have lived that one. We called it a baggage for many years. Something that we carry and need to put down. We thought we were just incompatible, different people who happen to share a childhood. Then, slowly, over years of doing the work, we started to see it differently. The triggers were not evidence that we were wrong for each other. They were the places we could help each other see and understand what actually drives us unconsciously. Now, when one of us fires the other, we try to stay. We push each other a little further, but with love. We argue, we cry, but with a safe place underneath it. We hold each other when things get hard. We hug, connect, and stay thankful that we built this system for ourselves. And we can't wait to meet again. Because every time we meet, we learn a little more about our story, about what we inherited, about the gift we were given. That we called baggage for a very long time. Recently, we discovered something. Our grandmother had a third little sister who died young. A sickness that couldn't be cured at that time. My grandmother was 12 or 13, just becoming a young woman. When the tragedy happened, she blamed herself. She carried that shame, that blame for the rest of her life. Became a servant to everyone around her, She believed she deserved to serve. She deserved to be punished. And suddenly, behaviors that never made sense before started becoming understandable. Why did she act the way she did her whole life? What did my father inherit from that presence? How did that embedded shame ripple down into our family, into us, siblings, and now into my son? The map goes deeper than we think, and it goes back further than we know. I want to give you a tool, not a concept, but something to write. 4 columns: trigger, feeling, pattern, and result. Map out your top triggers. What specifically fires you? What are the events, tone, people that get you tight, on the edge, and push you into a fight or flight mode? Then look at the feelings related to it. What does the nervous system start underneath the event? The pattern? What do you do next, automatically, without thinking it through, without pausing for 5 seconds? And the result? What happens in the relationship? What is the effect? How does that ripple out? Do just one of these, just one, the most obvious one, the triggers you already know. For example, criticism, shame, defend, conflict. Or distance, fear, control, and more distance. Silence, sadness, numb, disconnect. Write it down, not to fix it, and not to change anything today, just to finally see it clearly. What situations, pressure, habits, fears, or emotional states constantly makes you behave in a way that violate your own values? What exposes the parts of you that still operate from survival instead of alignment? That question is the map. Every person in your life has a map like this. Your partner, your parents, your child, and the people at work as well. Their reactions are not random either. Most people are reacting to meanings they never chose consciously. They are running their own trigger chains, built in their own homes, from their own unfinished moments. When you know your map, you stop being surprised by yourself. And when you can see their map, you stop taking their reactions personally. That is where connection becomes possible. And here is what the map reveals when you follow it back far enough. The triggers didn't start with you, but interruption can. Mapping these stories reveal so much about who we are, what we inherited, why we move, freeze, or create specific scenarios to feel what is familiar for the body. As adults, we need to map these stories. We need to understand our own chain. And we need to make sure the next generation has the possibility to hear these stories when the time is right and not at 30, 40, or 50. This week, map out one trigger, one story that affects how you show up under pressure. The one you already know, the feeling underneath it, the pattern activating it, and the results that follow. Write it down, not to fix it, but to actually see it. Because patterns stay powerful while they stay invisible. If you know your triggers, you stop being surprised by yourself. The signal scan is the starting point. At the end of it, you'll find the full red button map waiting for you. You can check it out in the description. Now you have the signal and you have the map. The next question is, what do you do in the 30 seconds after the trigger fires? Before the patterns take over completely. And that is the practice. And that is exactly what we build next. If you know your triggers, you stop being surprised by yourself. We'll take this one layer at a time. No rushing, no quick fixes, just learning how the human system actually works, step by step. See you in the next one. God bless.